Hey, Ben.
Sorry.
Oh,
Hello.
there you are.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just getting my high school graduate out the door this morning.
High school graduate. Ooh. My daughter told me yesterday that she'll be a junior in high school and that she'll be 18 in a couple of years. And I'm like, no, it's my oldest daughter. It's going too fast for her. Maybe because,
Way too fast. I went through all of her pictures, to do a slideshow. And oh my goodness. Yeah. You just want to cry a little bit and laugh a little bit. And yeah.
Crazy. Oh, well. We can just do the best that we can to make the best experience for them.
Yeah. And she's had a really great experience. So we have awesome school here. So very thankful. Yeah, today's a fun day. They have graduation practice and barbecue, and then we do our party tonight. So
Yay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Or then we don't have to do anything but attend parties tomorrow, and then graduation's on Sunday.
Well, I still have 2 more years before that happens.
Yeah.
But what happens will happen.
Yeah, hang on for the ride. It goes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Spend as much time with them as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do too. So
Did I see you on the call last night with Deb Erickson?
Yeah, I kept trying to get on, and we were having a real bad lightning storm here last night, and I finally gave up. I was like, ugh. So I'll have to go back and watch the recording because I know it dings every time I pop on. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't stay on here.
You don't like to make the ding every time you pop on.
Well, I felt like I was just interrupting, and I was on so late because we couldn't get a connection, and I finally got a connection, and then it kept dropping, and so I was like, all right, I guess it meant to be.
I don't know if anybody notices or minds the dings.
Oh, good.
But just because you said that, I'm going to turn off my dings.
Well, I didn't even know there was a way to turn it off or on or anything.
Yeah, there is. It says, play a sound when participants join or leave. Oh, here it says it's heard only by the host.
Oh.
But still, if you're listening to me talk, you can hear the ding from my side. So I'll just turn that off for now.
Yeah. Oh, see, there it is. Ding dong.
There's the ding. It was Debbie. Ding you, Debbie.
Thank you for taking over for minutes.
I can't help making puns. My kids tell me they're dad jokes.
Well, welcome everybody. We had 3 actually big booms, and I was like, what in the heck is that? So I was checking it out, and it sounded like gunshots, and I wanted to make sure that's not what it was, but I don't know. I can't find the source.
Rain or shine, even if there's a war happening outside, we'll be here.
Be here. I love you guys for it too. So good morning. This is our Friday morning builder call, and my heart's really full this morning of gratitude. Actually, I've been watching some things that are going on in my team, and it just really delights me. So I wanted to share your wins for the week or the month, whatever you want to share. Share what you love about doTERRA, what you love about the doTERRA culture, and your wins as you've shared these products this week or worked with your teams. So go ahead. Who wants to start? I'll start then. Okay. I should have started, right? I'll start then. We had another death on our team in Canada. Tom lost his battle to cancer. Tegan is waging a war with cancer right now. And last night, late, I was reading a Facebook message from Lisa Zimmer, who shared this. She said, I just got back from my dad's oncology appointment, and his liver cancer that he has been battling since 2009 is gone. 10 years fighting this. Chemo, surgeries, double chemo, and still there in the fall of 2018. Gone in 6 months with doTERRA. My parents would not use doTERRA on him until the oncologist gave them the thumbs up. It took 9.5 years to get the thumbs up. And that's because nothing else was working anymore. And he's had so much surgery abdominally that they wouldn't do any more surgery. And that's why I got the thumbs up. I find that really interesting. Okay. We've got something here that really does need to be shared. And so I've been watching my Canadian team, and I've wanted to recognize Tom. I knew Deborah Nettlecoff personally. And when her husband Jeff died, I made a real point to seek your help. And I think many of you did help. And I thank you for that. And so I wanted to find out more about Tom so I could recognize him and offer help to his family. I'm still waiting for that. I don't know anything about Tom. I just know that he's gone and the team is struggling and they're grieving again. And as I watched what's going on that Facebook page this morning, just for a moment, I loved how they're taking care of one another. And Sarah needed some more console. Sarah might be on here. I don't know. Is Sarah on here? Sarah needed some more console. And Tom was on her team. And people were just rallying to help her get some console before the weekend. Another gal needed some Roman chamomile for her mother. It's the only oil she's found to help her sleep well. And everybody was rallying to help her get some Roman chamomile. I love that part of our doTERRA culture. And I love how we care for one another. And it really is about the power of one, isn't it? That we take care of the one. We take care of the one. And so as I have been watching the Synduits campaign on the power of one, I want you to think about the one that you can reach out to today. And how do you find out who you need to reach out to each day? You just wait for opportunities? Do you pray about it? How do you find out what you need to do each day? And I hope that we'll watch for at least the one or the two or the three or the four or the 20 each day, the one that we can help each day. So thank you for all your goodness. Thank you for caring for one another enough to take care of needs. We have some new enrollments this week, and I want you to put them on the pages and help us welcome them. And let's get them feeling part of our community like we feel part of a community, and offer them the ongoing support that they need to feel comfortable and confident with their oils. So that's my share for a moment. I'll probably have more, but that's what's in my heart this morning. So go ahead and open up and share the best thing that happened to you this week with doTERRA.
I'll go. I had a couple things. Yesterday we had our BNI visitor day, and it was so funny. I was talking to our area education coordinator, and he lives about 8 hours from here. So it was quite a trip for him. And he also runs 2 other businesses as well as being a regional director. And we were talking about how he wanted to know how my business was going. And I said, actually, I really feel like I'm in a really good time. And I said, however, my personal life has been very full. And he laughed and he said, yeah, I understand that. And I said, but one of the things, and it just like came out of my mouth. And I guess it's because I really want to live my life that way. And I feel like I am. I can't wait for this thing to happen or that thing to be done. I have to be in the moment. And that, I think, is a real key to building your business and not putting things off that need done until you get this done or that done. You just do what has to be done each day and be reasonable about it. You know, I have really pared down my list. I got an accountability partner after leadership. And so I'll only send like 3 or 4 things a day. And then, I have some additions I'll add on my own, but I'm not doing 20 things in a day and feeling defeated at the end of the day. So it's really cool in the evening when I get to text her and say, hey, I did it. And, that I didn't overextend myself, but I didn't lay low either. So to me, that's a big win to be able to live the day-to-day stuff. And like we talk about doing a couple of the pipes activities every day, that's exactly what I'm doing. It really helps me to evaluate, okay, what's my priorities on my list to get those done first? And even though sometimes I can't do them until the evening, I do everything I can during the day and then do my evening stuff. But really helps me to focus on what's important instead of doing a bunch of busy work that doesn't really matter.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah.
I'll go. So I've been really working hard at connecting with a lot of people lately and just reaching out to lots of team members, some prospects that have, just contacts that have been a long time ago, reaching out to them and letting them know about the classes and everything, and reaching out to some new people as well. So that's been really good, just getting in contact with people. And I'm finding since I've been doing that, just people start coming out of the woodwork, and I'm, contacting me about this, that, or the other, maybe finding me online. So I've got a few new contacts online, and I've been a lot better at tracking them using my spreadsheets and stuff, and my success tracker. So that's been very good. So we have a lot more people committing to come to classes. So here's hoping should be good.
Ben, is that your online classes for your team wide, or is that new prospects in your area coming to live classes?
Both. Yeah. Online. I just have one online class a week, 3 trainings online, and 3 local classes, as well as, whatever else comes up. So
awesome.
So yeah, and Jade is at convention, and let me see, she had quite a lot of people in Australia. So they're attending convention right now. I forget, it seemed like 30 or 40 people that they had there from the team attending. It's great because it's right there in Sydney. Yeah, I'm not going to count this right now, but it looks like about 30 people. So that is awesome.
A picture to share? Do you have a picture to share?
A picture of
all those attending?
Oh, they have a message group that they put together. I'll go ahead and share that with you, I guess. I think I'm okay to send this without sharing anybody's details. So they've got a whole lot of people here that are part of that. I'm also part of the message group, and I'm not attending, but you can see there's a lot of people out there. They're having lots of fun attending convention, learning new things. So it's really awesome. They've been just texting back and forth, sharing things and stuff like that. So, and swag, and that's really important. Hey guys. so yeah,
thank you.
Happy for them. It was a bit of a, we had to stretch and sacrifice to get everybody there and stuff, but it's really good because Australia, they've been growing at quite a good rate, but they're going through like a bit of a difficult time, I guess. Jade attended Diamond Day, and they said a lot of people who have reached those higher ranks are having problems earning that commission regularly. So they sit and talk about some ways of overcoming that and helping each other. So that's really cool. Another reach out, I've reached out with people in my rank, and I'm hosting like kind of a get together chat for them. So hopefully that will bring me and some other people. It seems like a lot of people when you get to this rank don't have that continued support from the team above. Because I mean, my wife and I talk about it all the time. We just have to get her to platinum. That's all. And then if she wants to go to diamond, she has to build another silver leg. So I mean, that's how the incentives are built in. But I think we can do a lot to develop ourselves personally. I was on Deb Erickson's call last night with Casey. So if you guys haven't done that, it's not too late. You can sign up for that. $64 a month after the 10% discount. And that gives you access to all of her trainings. And it's basically, I would say, an hour of videos to watch a week. And then you jump on the calls on Thursday night. Casey, our presidential upline, and actually Deb Erickson was on there as well. And she coaches 1 or 2 people. And so great opportunity. Guys, if you're struggling, if you want to, improve or whatever, there really is a point in your business where you have to reach out and get some help and go, connect with other people and start working on yourself, So so that's still a possibility for. And she said that's everybody Premier and above, but I told my team anybody who has a, you know, that's one. I think it would be great for anybody. But if you're brand new, maybe it might be you know, there's some other things you probably need to train in first. But if you've been in doTERRA for more than a year or so, I would say do it. Join, participate.
And fabulous training. And I looked this morning, I had a culminating activity with my 6th grader last night. So I've been watching for the recording. I haven't seen it yet this morning. And so I'm anxious to see what you guys talked about last night. But Deb Erickson has been great. Honestly, I highly recommend that you consider working with her. She's got some fabulous stuff. So was there any one point, Ben, that touched you last night on that call that was really worth sharing this morning? I'm sure there was lots, but.
Sure. The discussion was around avatars. So one of her things, and I say, if now, where does this take place? You know, the training on avatar, where does that take place in your doTERRA journey? I say, if you've gone through the build guide, which is basically just a discussion about, do you want to do this business or not? And the launch guide, which is basically, what are the steps to get your business going? If you've done that, then the sales guide is probably your next step. And that's where the discussion of avatar comes in. And this is not, you know, the blue people who fly on floating rocks and stuff, or Avatar, the Last Airbender, the Japanese cartoon. It's just your target market. So you gotta, in your business, you have to choose someone to take a stand for. Someone that you are there to, you've got a solution and they have a job to be done. I just read Clay Christensen's book, Competing Against Luck. So instead of thinking about people's needs, think about them more as jobs to be done, because those needs could be filled by anything, right? Great book. But if you think about your customers, that target customer. And so what stood out to me in trying to come up with this description of who I'm serving, and really, guys, we may have several customers. You know, I'm thinking about the business customer, and that's what I spoke about last night. But there's also, you know, your customer. That's customer twice. Where you think of, you know, that's the person where, hey, I'm teaching a class on cleanse this week. And so if I'm thinking about what is the target customer that needs the cleanse, that the cleanse is a solution, or or I want that customer to hire the cleanse to do a job for them. And maybe their job is they want more energy, they want more vitality, they want to feel more vital, you know, I said vitality twice, but you know, if you think about it in those terms. So what stood out to me that Deb Erickson said that didn't really, maybe has been taught to me before, but didn't really click until last night, is she talked about, you know, what are their pains and focusing on their feelings. So what is that person feeling? What are they complaining about to their friends? What words do they use in their complaints? And those are the words that you would use maybe to, you know, an ad to boost your Facebook event, or maybe, you know, in some copy you put in an email or something like that. You would use their words, what they're thinking, what their feelings are. So you're connecting with them. You're saying, oh, I feel your pain. I've got a solution for you. You know, come join us on, you know, stuff. So that helped a lot to think of their pain points and think about what they're complaining about, what they would tell their friends. And if I had to ask a group of people who I was looking for as a business partner or as a customer, because like this week, I asked a few people for referrals. But if I got more specific and I said, I'm looking for this specific person, anybody you know that fits this specific, and you gotta be careful. You know, our normal reaction is to be broad. I'm looking for anybody with a pulse that will want to buy essential oils, or that, you know, whatever. You think that you would catch more people, but the more specific you are, the more of a connection you have, and the more clear you can address their solutions. So in terms of marketing, being more specific is better. So those are the things that stood out to me from Deb Bergson's training, and you can watch the video and tell me if I missed anything.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to see that. So yeah, I've learned that in participating in BNI, which is Business Network International, that if you say, I want somebody with a pulse, nobody comes to mind for the other people in the room. But if you're specific on what you're looking for, then they can watch for it, or they might know somebody. And so that's a really critical piece. Very good. Very good. All right. Who else wants to share? What's been the best part of your doTERRA experience this week?
Debbie, I'll chime in here while I can. Hopefully my kids will cooperate. They're kind of crazy this morning. But I would say just for me this week, attending the Healthy Habits Tour was really, really awesome. And the sales training that they did, I wasn't there for the whole part of it, but I really loved the strengths training, the gentleman that taught on that, and just really kind of diving in and being able to share and come from an authentic place of what your strengths are. Here you go. We'll put it right out there. There you go. You want to go outside? Okay, you can go outside. It's raining out there, but I'll open the door. Here. But I loved the strengths training, and I think just, coming from that place of teaching from, or, sharing from like your authentic self and how to go about doing that, All right. I have to deal with my kids. I'll join you in a minute. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Steve. That was a really great piece this week. And Eddie Villa, I don't know if any of you have followed him. He was our presenter. And honestly, we needed about double the time at least. He only spoke for about 15 minutes, and that was unfortunate, but I could have listened to him for a lot longer than that. He was really specific in helping us hone in on our specific strengths and skills and how we wanted to look at addressing. In fact, one of the things he said to me, which is really the truth, was that with my strengths, my top strength is learner. And he asked, and my top, I'm kind of heavy weighted in the executive, in the red. And so he was telling me that I will teach anybody anything once they have their diamond kit. And it was really funny that he said that to me, because I don't often sell a diamond kit. Let me be really frank with that. But the idea is that I really do believe they need every oil. They need every product. I really do believe that. And so I typically teach that. And I always feel like I leave them ill-prepared sometimes when they buy a smaller kit that doesn't incorporate all the oils they need for their specific concerns at the time. Now, we can do a lot with that basic kit, and I've proved it a number of times in the last month. But at any rate, it was really an interesting comment that he made to me to say, yeah, your top strength is learner. And so as long as you're ready to teach them anything they want to learn, as long as they have all the oils. And yeah, I kind of feel that way. So, all right. Other comments. Chelsea, you've got to chime in here, dear. Sam, what's been your big aha this week, or your big take home, or your big win?
I really didn't do a whole lot this week. I was just working on some like personal stuff, but Corey kind of just like filled that void in, and he like came home a few different days and came home and got oils and went back and like sold oils to his coworkers at retail because they didn't feel good and stuff they needed. And so I don't know, it was really neat to kind of see him like branch out and step into that a little bit.
Awesome. And you had what they needed on hand. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Way to serve. Way to go. Jen, are you able to unmute yourself and share what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Hi, yes. I did a make and take last Friday. That was amazing. I had planned just like an hour and a half in the morning, and it turned out to be all throughout the day, different people coming in and out. It was phenomenal. It was so much fun, and just talked to so many people, and I like just kind of quietly said, if anybody brings a friend next time, have a little gift. And every single one was like, oh my gosh, can we bring 2 or 3? And it was a big success for me. And I felt like this was my niche. And so I feel like I'm, getting off on the right foot. Like I know which direction to go. And then I had my first accountability call with Wendy, and that really helped me a whole lot, having that call with her and her and I talking and figuring out my next week. And then on a personal note, my husband, who has diabetes, is on metformin at about 500. I want to say milligrams. I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
They upped him to 1,000. And I said, would you be willing to do the Lifelong Vitality Pack now? Is that something? And he was like, oh, yes, whatever. Give me something. I don't want to be on this medication. And so in my own home, I'm using him as experiments. And already his blood sugars have leveled out so much better. So this was a good week. It was a really good week, and I'm excited for next week, and I've got great plans. So
Sweet. That's awesome, Jen. That's awesome. Yep. It's really fun to actually, I'm going to use the word convert, whether that's the word or not, convert our own family members, isn't it? It's really awesome to help them to experience what we know works really well. So yeah. And I love to, when somebody's just getting started, I love to add that just a drop of On Guard with each meal, and we see those blood sugars really level out. Now we can do Slim and Sassy, we can do cinnamon. There's all kinds of choices. But in fact, I was listening to a talk yesterday from Sue Lawton. Years ago, she used to do weekly calls on the oils. You don't know Dr. Sue Lawton, but it was weird. It came up on my phone, just random. It was like, oh, I'm supposed to listen to this apparently. That happened in my car too. My phone connected with my Bluetooth in my car and just played random stuff from my phone. I was like, are you kidding me? Where'd that come from? I needed that right now. So it was a kind of I knew the angels were looking out for me yesterday. But at any rate, she talked about cinnamon and its effect on blood sugar. And then she talked about it on parasites. And I don't know what's going on with my digestive system right now, but I've been having a lot of issues. And I was like adding cinnamon to my water yesterday after I heard Dr. Sue Lawton. And it was a good reminder. And I love cinnamon anyway. I've used it for years to support my blood sugar, but that's a really great one to add to your husband's water bottle. And then go back to those books. You Can Heal Your Life, and look up diabetes and find out the emotions behind it. It's a real aha. It's a really good reminder. So, all right, very good. I want to hear from, is Chelsea still on here? Chelsea, I want to hear from you. You got to pipe in here, because if you don't, I'm going to talk for you.
Hi. So some things that I'm really grateful for with doTERRA this week. One is I get Debbie. I wasn't going to say this before, but I've been getting a lot of orphans lately here in Texas, and I'm really excited about it because we don't have very many downline members here in Texas. And so the possibility of being able to go visit these people is really exciting for me. So that's just one of the things I'm excited about. Another one is just having the oils and being able to use them on our kids when we need them, especially when we're in front of other parents, when they don't know about oils. Yeah, they've heard of them and stuff, but I like to be the one to help educate them and open them to that, this whole other world that they didn't know before. What else? And then another one for me is just being able to get out of the house and go meet with other moms and stuff. So it doesn't really have to do with doTERRA, but it's one of my.
It does have to do with doTERRA because you're in front of people, right? You have an opportunity to share.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually the biggest activity that we do in doTERRA is making friends. And sometimes it feels like we're not working, but absolutely, you got to be doing that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, got to be in front of people. That's awesome. So I congratulated Chelsea for another moment, and it was another orphan. And I'm like, girl, my gosh, this is awesome. This is manna from heaven dropping onto her teeth. Like, oh my gosh. That's amazing. So yeah, you got to watch those orphans. You got to watch your front line. And periodically, I would say throughout the week, from time to time, look at level 1 on your team. When those orphans, if you've missed emails, you've all of a sudden find new people on your front line, and you're like, where did they come from? And you got to watch it, because you don't want them all plunking on your front line. And so you want to put them down under where it's going to actually grow your team and help you hit rank. And so, yeah, watch for that front line. Watch for these new people. I had a lead yesterday from doTERRA. It wasn't an orphan, but from time to time, doTERRA has people seek out for more information. And so this gal, Ashley, had sought out for more information. No, it wasn't Ashley, it was Audrey. She had sought out for more information, and she didn't want to know about this, that, or the other. She just wanted to know about the certified pure therapeutic grade oils, and she was willing to be contacted by text. So, well, I had her email, I had her phone number, I had her text, and I did send her a text. I left her a voicemail, I sent her an email, and she actually replied. She was on vacation, and so I'm hoping to get with her next week. So, you know what? Watch for those people that doTERRA are sending you. Watch your emails for those really pleasant little surprises from doTERRA that says, hey, we have somebody that lives in your neck of the woods. She lives in this Aubrey lives in Draper, and she wanted more information about this particular thing. And there was a whole checklist that she had checked, and she'd only checked one yes. Out of all that she wanted to learn, she only checked one yes. And the one yes was to learn about CPTG. And so I'm excited to meet with her, and I'm really thrilled that she actually responded to my text and said, I'm out of town, but I'll be back next Monday. I'll reach out to you then. Now, I did respond to that text, and she didn't respond back. So, but be there for them. Let them know that this is part of a community. Okay, has everybody shared something? I hope so. And if something else comes up, go ahead and share that. So, all right, go ahead.
I want to share for Sue. She's not on here this morning, but Greg and I did a little bit of a mentor call with her and her husband Jeff on Friday, on Monday, and so it was really interesting because she had one class and it wasn't as successful as she hoped, and then all of a sudden this improv make and take happened. She has a connection with a nurse there in Buffalo. And so this nurse gathered up all of her friends and brought them to this class, and they did this impromptu make and take. And so now we're going to do an emotions class on Monday night in Buffalo. So Greg and I are going to go up and help her teach that, and then we'll do a make and take after. And so this gal and all of her friends are coming back. So I thought that was a really cool win for Sue. Sometimes things don't always happen as they plan, but sometimes things are better when they happen in that moment. And it was really fun to see that. So I wanted to share that for her.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I've been wondering how Sue's doing. I've been watching her. So very fun. Very fun. We are about something important, aren't we? Mm-hmm. I want to ask you one more question here. I want you to ponder. How can we reach out and ask our team members to send us referrals and increase that power of one? Each one give us one referral. How can we make that happen? Or actually not make it happen, but how can we facilitate that happening? What happens, Ben?
I think sometimes you just ask. So it's just, also you got to give them a reason. People, you have to reciprocate. So if you're just asking people to do things, you're not doing anything for them. So make sure that you're reciprocating. You give some sort of a thank you. Maybe it's an incentive. Say, hey, if you have a friend that we can help adopt the natural solution lifestyle, I'm going to give, I have some prizes to give you. Or we can reciprocate in other ways. We can maybe give them referrals for their business. And always, I think, a thank you at the end. Sometimes people just want to be appreciated and, feel like they're helping out. But make sure that you're always, doing that bit of a reciprocal energy, I think.
Very good. Very good. And Ben, you've been reaching out to some team members lately. So what happens when we reach out to our team members and then through the course of the conversation, ask them, who do they know that we can help? We build relationships that way, and we create communities that way.
I think in a practical sense, most people maybe not be able to think of anybody right off the top of their head, but you've planted a seed and you've labeled yourself as well. And so when they see that again in their life, that reticular activating system pops in and they're like, okay, so if I see someone that meets this category, I can connect them with this person, and be able to help someone win brownie points and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I just had a name come to mind. Did anybody have a name come to mind of who they need to reach out to? Jot it down if you did. Write that down. I need to call Tia. So I love those little promptings. Okay, so we've been going through the the guides again. And today I wanted to bring up the build guide. I was hoping that doTERRA had the new guide that they had in our training at the Empowered or the Healthy Habits, and it's not posted online yet.
What guide is that?
Hang on, let me grab my glasses.
Is it the sales guide? That's available.
It's this one here, and maybe it was just for the event, Building Successful Business Habits. Have you seen this one yet?
No.
You're looking at it backwards. Really great guide, but
Is it made by doTERRA or is it?
yes, it's doTERRA's. And so, I couldn't find it online, but Emily has a really fabulous quote in the as you open this up, and it says, "You have this brought us into our strengths with Eddie Villa. You have characteristics and gifts that make you unique. It is up to you to turn those characteristics into strengths. Stop comparing yourself to others. Your strengths were given to you for a purpose. When you embrace your authentic self, your potential is limitless." So then Eddie Villa talked about strengths, and he gave some incredible statistic that basically said, it's now been proven that you are uniquely you. He says, you might find 1 in 250,000 that have the same 5 top strengths as you do, but they won't be in the same order. And then he said, but you will never find anybody that has the top 34 strengths in your exact order. And so he says, you are seriously uniquely you. You won't find anybody. And then the very first exercise that we were asked to do was to share our story. And they gave us outlines in that sharing of your story. That was really, really great. What wasn't working for you? And this is how Deb Erickson talks too. When we find their pain points, what wasn't working for you? How long had it been going on? What problems were created as a result? What had you tried? What kinds of results were you getting, and what did it cost you? What led you to doTERRA? What was different about these solutions? What kind of results did you start experiencing? How have the products and or opportunity changed your life? And what is life like for you now? You know what? I'll go ahead and type those up and put those questions on the Promoting a Healer page. Really great questions. What wasn't? And so I say this to people all the time, a little bit differently. They phrase it a little bit differently than I was. When people, I don't know where my voice just went. When people start talking about their health or wellness concerns, and if it's really exacerbated right now and it's really bad, I usually say, that sounds like you're struggling a great deal. How long have you been struggling with that? Or how long has that been a problem? What have you done about it? What have you found that works? And that leads me right into, would you be open to learning about essential oils or some natural solutions? And so I always ask those questions, but this really honed it in on, what have you tried? What kind of results were you getting? What did it cost you? Lime oil is magnificent. What led you to doTERRA? What was different about these solutions? Okay. And so they asked us to write down our story, and then we practiced it with the person next to it. And then the next part, we focused on inviting, okay? Inviting people to learn more, to come to a class, to come to an event, and helping people say yes. And so we didn't practice that one, but and a one-on-one would obviously be one of those. Okay, to learn more, a one-on-one, a class, an event, to just set them up with the healthy habits, healthy can be simple brochure. Then we talked about enrolling successfully and overcoming objections, which was kind of an interesting comment. Not sure what kit to order. What are you working on? Look over your health priorities. Invite them to find solutions in a reference guide. What kit would best meet your needs? Offer your suggestions. And they really talked about the fact that if we don't know what's in the kit and how to use it, then what she called us a poser. If you are not using the Lifelong Vitality Pack and you're trying to sell the Lifelong Vitality Pack, she called us a poser. So she said, become a product of the products. You will only, and I agree with this 100%, you will only sell that which you know, that which you use. And so she used the word poser a lot. And this was Eddie Villa's wife, and I don't remember her name, so I wrote her down in my notes as wife Villa, but I don't remember her first name. But they are blue diamonds. And so she talked about the fact that we need to know the products and we need to know what's in the kit. So if we want to sell the Natural Solutions kit, until we know and memorize what's in the Natural Solutions kit, she said, it will be unlikely that you will actually sell that kit. You need to know the products and you need to know what's in that kit so you can talk to it. And that is the kit that we talk to with the Natural Solutions class. So if there's anything in that kit that we don't know, we better start figuring out how it works and utilizing it, or we're unlikely to sell that kit. And she talked about the fact that we don't know what's in their pocketbooks, so don't ever make judgments. And Casey Vaudry shared a story that they actually shared at the training. Casey Vaudry shared a story that she was talking to a person, and she knew she didn't have much money, and so she had already filled out the form and checked the box for the Home Essentials kit, this Family Essentials kit, the smaller one, okay, for the Family Essentials kit. And she handed it to her to fill out the information, the enrollment form. And the lady said, "Did you not hear anything I said?" And Casey recognized that listening was the most key part of that interaction. And we just provide information. We do not make judgment calls. So we don't worry about financial concerns. We let them tell us, okay? I'm not sure where to start. Would it serve you best to choose a couple of oils to address a healthy priority? And then with experience, you can better choose your kit in a week and get back and follow up with them. So I did that this week. I ended up selling an oil, which is not how my learner comes in, right? My learner is, you got to have all of these, and that's not how that came in for me. But then they went through setting goals and honing them down into setting a 90-day goal and then going backwards. Okay, what needs to happen in 60 days? What needs to happen in 30 days? What needs to happen today? So as we're setting goals, we need to figure out, small steps to actually achieve it and create a reality, rather than just putting a goal on paper and hope that it comes to fruition. Then they talked about finding our builders, and a little bit of mention was our avatar. And so we're getting that training through Deb Erickson right now really beautifully. Who are we looking for? What qualities are we looking for? Obviously, we're looking for capable and committed, or committed and capable is the order they put it in. But we wanted to add to that. And then we talked about the doTERRA sales cycle. Okay, and this is in the launch guide. And so when you have the doTERRA sales cycle, you've got the pipes, but on the outside of those pipes, you've got connecting, inviting, introducing, educating, enrolling, answering objections, gathering referrals, follow-up. So they talked about the fact that pipes might include several things. The preparing means to connect, inviting, obviously, presenting, introduce, educate, close. That's all part of the presenting. Enrolling includes answering objections and gathering referrals. And support includes follow-up, 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 right? And so we talked about that. So it was a really great training, actually. I really enjoyed it. then they, reminded us of all the guides out there. So maybe this booklet is not available for purchase. Maybe it was just for the Healthy Habits. I don't know, but I was looking for it online to see if I could find it. And then the evening part of that tour was an education class where we're going to invite people to, and it was 2 hours long. It was a little bit long. Some people commented on that. The comment that I got from, and I had a whole row of people there, so it was a really successful event for me. Had a couple of enrollments on the spot. 3 people that wanted to enroll and simply said, we've got to wait a little bit longer to gather our finances. They were younger, in their 20s. And then a couple of people that had already enrolled. And one of the comments from the person that had already enrolled, from Greg anyway, that had already enrolled, he said, he's a multi-level marketer, and he said they needed to share more stories. Emotions is why people buy. And it was really kind of funny that he would point that out. Yeah, you could tell he had done network marketing before. But he talked about the need to tell stories. And he said they shared a lot of information, a lot of great information. And they called me up on stage. I raised my hand about the healing. Who knows about the Healing Hands? I raised my hand, and they called me up to talk about the Healing Hands Foundation. So, and everybody, after I talked about that on stage, the 2 people that I enrolled automatically, and 2 other people that I have helped with loyalty rewards orders, they added the $1. They added the $1 contribution to their order. No questions asked. Oh yeah, check that box. I'll do that. I'll do that. And so just bringing up that little thing, and I said on stage, what would happen if all 7 million plus of us added $1 to every order from doTERRA? What kind of good could we do in the world? And there was no problem with them checking that $1 box. It was kind of fun. So at any rate, it was a great event, and we talked about, we had a lot of shares with the Lifelong Vitality Pack presentation on that. We had a lot of shares with the Healthy Habits Kit and all the products in there in detail. And that was definitely the kit of the day. Those that enrolled there with me, that's the kit they bought. So anyway, it was a good event. So if you haven't gone to one in your neighborhood, it's worth driving to, I promise. Whether it's in your neighborhood or you got to drive, they're trying to make them to where you don't have to drive more than 4 hours for it. I need somebody to take it over for a minute. Who wants to share?
Did anybody else go to that?
I'll get on while my kids are outside. This is Dia. I did attend with Debbie, and I had a guest that came with me. She had to leave early, which was sad. But it was. I thought it was it was a good event. I was there for the business training, and I mentioned earlier, about the strengths training that they did, and just using that in just, in being authentic in the way that you share, and looking at, where you're, you might have your top two areas of, I think they have like where it's like, they're in different categories. So they kind of put you in like your strength is in like relationship, or in, you guys know what I'm talking about, the different areas. And being able to kind of see where your first priority strengths are versus your second, like your secondary strengths, and in being like I know over the years of being on Debbie's team and listening to other people, and not trying to sometimes be somebody that I wasn't, and where I have had the most success in trying to kind of figure that out is where I have been more authentic and have been myself, but not really being able to pinpoint what that was. And I think being able to do that, and I think for any one of our team members, which I want to encourage those that want to do the business to do that as well, because I think it helps you to kind of see where your strengths are. And my biggest one is in relationships, and and being able to see, okay, this is how it is that I work, and this is how these strengths kind of come together, and how, you know, even in your, they talked about in your clothes, how you would approach that. And I don't know if that information is anywhere on doTERRA's website. And maybe Debbie might be able to speak to that, but I really liked how they, you know, talked about how you would then approach the clothes. And if your strength is in relationship, you know, it's kind of talking about how because the way that you've been sharing is in that relationship that you've built with this person, is that like, we can do this together. Let's go ahead and, you know, help you get your oils today. Okay, Ellis, can you go back outside with your little brother? Thank you. I have to hide from my kids. But that was one of the big takeaways that I had from the first part of the business training that they had. And then they had the second part, which was the healthy habits. And, you know, they really focus in on, you know, the lifelong vitality. And gosh, I wish I had my notes from the event, but trying to think of what else they had. Debbie, are you back?
I am.
From
This is not
the
what I like,
presentation.
but this is what I have right in front of me right now.
Well, you know what? I know the other thing that they had, which they shared about the Copaiba versus CBD, and they shared a video, which I know. I actually, doTERRA just sent out like an email, and I think they had the link to that video posted in there, which talks about the differences between CBD and Copaiba, and kind of doTERRA stance. I feel like the reason why they wanted to address that is because there's been a lot of questions that people have had. One around doTERRA stance is this something that doTERRA is going to go down? Is this something that we're going to be offering? People obviously know that CBD works for people, and it's all the rage right now. But what doTERRA kind of really talked about with its certified pure therapeutic grade and the regulatory issues around it not being, you know, federally approved or whatever, or legal. That really doTERRA is obviously not going to get in that arena, but also, you know, unless that changes or something, not saying that they won't ever, but at this time, you know, obviously there's the issues there, but also with the purity and the direct that the Copaiba has with the receptor sites. So yeah, it's a really good video. And I think doTERRA just sent some email out, and if I can find it, I don't know if you guys have seen that. Debbie, did you see the email that they sent out? And I swear it had
I saw it. It was in the
link.
It was in an email, and it was posted on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to share on social media to your friends.
Yeah, very good one.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah, I think that my friend that came, like she basically said, because both her sister and her mom have had a lot of health issues, and she's like, oh my gosh, like both my mom and my sister need to be on this, you know, need to be taking Copaiba. And I was like, yes, they do. So yeah, it was good.
Dia, while you were sitting helping Mary finish her enrollment on the phone, and I was telling Melody, I was over to working with her parents, her mother especially, last weekend on Saturday, and I scanned her mom. Her mom had been really, really sick, and Greg, the father, had already enrolled. And so Melody said, will you scan me? And I did scan her, and she scanned for not only Copaiba oil, but Copaiba soft gels. Those were in her top 5. Copaiba oil and Copaiba soft gels, and she had just started using some CBD oil. So she came to that event, and that's how I committed her to being to that event, was saying, what are you doing Tuesday night? And she goes, I'm going skating. And I said, do you do that every week? And she said, yes. So hear this, okay? She's going skating. And I said, do you do that every week? And she goes, yes. And I said, could you possibly miss it for 1 week? That's how I said it. And she said, well, maybe. Why? And I told her about the event, and I said, we're going to be talking about that event. You're going to want to hear this. And so that's kind of how I committed her. to being to that meeting. She said, I guess I could miss it for 1 week. And so this is for the that I'm going skating. Do that every week. No, but anyway, these are the 4 groups that they grouped in, right? Yeah. This isn't the picture that I would like to show. But these are the 4 areas, and so Eddie asked, how do we talk to people according to our top strengths? And actually, he kind of insinuated, how many of you have 5 or more in your top 10 that are in one of these areas, or 3 or more in your top 5 that are in one of these areas? And seriously, Dia, couldn't all of us raise our hands? Most of us in that room raise our hands that we are a little bit heavy loaded in the top 5. I have 5. I have 3 that are in red. So they're strategic. It's not executive. It's strategic thinking. So I have input, intellection, and learner in the strategic thinking. And so then he addressed, okay, how if you're heavy on this area, how would you start? And I don't remember all of that. I need to go back and listen to see if I got that recorded. I can't even address that with you right now on the fly. If anybody else can, go for it. But for Dia, which one were yours was in relationship?
Yeah, it was in relationship. My secondary probably is in strategic thinking, but I had a lot in the relationship building, and that was kind of an aha for me. I mean, it's something that I kind of know, like that I know, but trying to figure out how to use that in, how it is that I share and how it is that I close, and I think just understanding, how it is that I influence others and use that to my advantage and being able to, be from what is authentically my strong point anyway, and that I'm not trying to do what somebody else does that, is an effective way for them, but maybe not necessarily for me.
So I want to ask, who on here has figured out your strengths and how to better approach people and work within your strengths and has found more peace, more joy, more ease in promoting their business? Who on here has found that to be the case? Yeah.
Debbie, will you repeat the question, please?
So my question is, how many of you, like for instance, when he's talked about Dia's strengths being relationship based or heavy on relationship, for Dia to help somebody close, she said, let's work on this together. That's one of the lines she might use. Let's work on this together. Yesterday, I did a live Facebook, and because learner is my strength, I decided, okay, what do I need to do to better help people become a creator in every home, or become what can I do to help people become the healer in their own home, so that I'm not their healer, right? That they become their healer. And so I've really pondered this over the last week and a half. What am I doing that strips people of that, or what can I do to really better empower people to become a healer in their own home? If that's what I feel like my mission is, if that's part of my way, then what can I do to facilitate that? And so yesterday, I just got on and started talking about the resource books. And it was so easy. It didn't cause me any stress whatsoever. I felt completely at ease. I felt like I was in my zone. It was easy. And so my question is, as you're figuring out how to work within your strengths, have you experienced how much easier it is to share doTERRA? Because that's where we want to get to. We want to find out our strengths. And so if you haven't yet taken the Strength Finders test, I'm going to invite you to do that again. Buy the book on Amazon for $15. And on doTERRA, on Empowered You, they have a link for that book on Amazon. Okay, Ben's got one on his page too. But on doTERRA, if you look up Empowered You, hold the cursor on Advocates, and then go to Training. And under Empowered You, click on Empowered You, and it will have a link to buy the Strength Finders 2.0 book. And when you buy that for $15 on Amazon, then you get to take the test. If you just go to Gallup, you're going to pay $20 to take the assessment. And so you want to take that assessment, and you'll get your top 5 strengths, and then pay an additional $69, and you'll get all 34 in the order for you. And it's worth doing. And once you figure out what your top 5 strengths are, then I think you settle into accepting your strengths and working with your strengths, and not being into, we talked about strength envy at this training. Anybody who's suffered from strength envy? Yeah. And so he talked about get out of it, let go of it, of the strength envy, and settle down and hunker into your own strengths, and you will find joy and peace and ease as you share this as you do this business. And so that's where I want to get to. So has anybody already experienced that?
I just wanted to add, Debbie, I did some of Eddie Villa's free training that he did on Zoom. And okay, I have to say I am envious that you guys got to have him live because he's really awesome. So if you guys can look him up online, he's got a couple Facebook groups and I think he has a YouTube channel.
You do have to pay now to get on his Facebook group. He announced that.
Okay. So anyway, some awesome stuff, but I unlocked all 34 of mine, and I would definitely encourage you to do that because I kept thinking, why don't I have relationship in my top 5? I didn't have any of the relationship strengths, and I'm like, surely there's some there. And because I have tons of friends and a huge network, and mine showed up number 6 and number 7 are 2 relationship strengths, but my dominant and my top 10 are influencing and executing. So when I'm talking to people, I find that when I'm at most at ease is that I can influence them by showing them how they can actually take control of their own health, which is taking control is executing, like just get in and do it. And so for me, that's where I find the most happiness is when I can show them that they really do need these products and that here is how you do it. So that for me really puts me at ease. And then I do have Learner in my top 5 as well. So then I can point them to the resources after I get to those points, but that's not my leading point. My leading point is actually influencing. So.
Very good. Very good. I sat next to Janelle during the business training. And Janelle's been on our calls from time to time. And Janelle has an ability to enroll people by saying stuff like, sure, I'll order that for you. I'll get your points for you. Do you even know about the perks of a wholesale membership? Why don't you have your wholesale membership already? You want your wholesale membership so that you can have the perks, so that you can get the points, so that you can get the freebies. She does that all the time. Probably everybody she's enrolled, she's had that conversation. So what do you think her strength is?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. She said, sure, I'll take your points. I'll get your free products for you.
Well, I did that Wednesday. I had a one-to-one meeting with a lady that I met at the craft show 2 weeks ago. And in fact, I didn't even know what she looked like because I had seen so many people. I wasn't sure. So when I had called her the night before, I said, I'll be the one with the doTERRA backpack. Come find me. And then afterwards, there was a group of ladies I knew, and one of them was also at the craft show with a booth and has some serious health problems. And she was just wanting me to order her myrrh and frankincense. And she's like, I don't think I need a membership. And so I sat down after my meeting with the other lady was done and started talking to her about all these other things she had going on. And she says, well, maybe I would order some more oils. And I laid out her prices, retail and then wholesale with a membership, and showed her that she was still going to save money. Even if she bought only 2 oils and the membership, she was going to save money. She's like, oh, I think I need to do this. And so she was in the middle of something else they were doing. So I told her we'll have to get together this next week, but yeah, she'll be enrolling. So, but it was that influence that really did it.
Yeah, absolutely. It says this makes sense for you. Very good. Well, I want to be aware of our time. For those of you who need to jump off, it's after 9:30. My next question is going to be, how have you used the build guide, and who can share with me? I was going to go through the build guide, and I think we've all gone through it already. But tell me, who has used the build guide as they've talked to those who are interested in actually sharing and building and creating an income with doTERRA? And what has been your top attention grabber in the build guide?
Absolutely, I've used it lots and lots. I mean, that's the tool.
It is the tool.
If you don't use your tools, it's like trying to, nail a hammer in with a screwdriver.
And one thing that was brought up in this training, forgive me for interrupting, I want you to come right back with that, Ben, is the fact that we need to use the tools with each person. You never know what's going to click later on if you don't go through the share guide or the build guide now. Go ahead, Ben.
So you asked what is the most important part?
Or
I think
grabber, yeah.
the commission. Honestly, people like that page because they see the possibilities. Because a lot of people, the third to last page there is about, how can doTERRA help you reach your dreams in your life? Whether it's financial freedom, or you want to belong or achieve something, or you want to have more time with your family, or whatever. Any of those goals that they have in their life could be reached with, building a doTERRA business, because money is fungible. People see that, oh, if I had that extra income, that would help me in this way. So I think it's the biggest attention grabber has always been for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things they mentioned at this training was the fact that, it's really okay to just read through this story of the pipeline versus, Holly Buckets versus building a pipeline. And then we have to identify what constitutes Holly Buckets and what constitutes building a pipeline. And Eddie Via's wife, whatever her name is, I'm embarrassed that I didn't catch that. Eddie Via's wife said, I am really good at getting people on LRP. I am really good at getting people on LRP. So enrollment is Holly Buckets. LRP is building a pipeline. And so we want to identify, as it's appropriate, what constitutes Holly Buckets and what constitutes building a pipeline and creating that residual income.
Debbie, I think that's a perfect time to have the discussion with people. This is not like a normal business. This is not retail, because a lot of people, when they start to do doTERRA as a business, they think retail, and they're like, I want to get a shop front, I want to buy a bunch of products and sell them, or I want to make blends or something like that. That page is the time to have that discussion, to say, this is not like a regular business. If you don't have repeat customers, you'll never get to sustainable income levels. I love someone shared online a little while ago, the math, whereas if you enroll like 20 people a month, and you get the fast start and everything, but if they never get on LRP, you'll never reach those ranks, ever.
Yeah, and that's Holly Buckets.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a perfect time to have that discussion about, this is not retail.
Yeah, very good point. Very good. Okay. Anything else grab you as we're going through the build guide? I really like this part too. What would make the biggest impact in your life? And I don't usually just read this off. I show this to them and pause for a moment, because they can read through it with me. Sometimes I'll read it. But I seriously read this part right here, probably only 50%. As I think about the people that I've gone through the build guide with recently, I ask that question, what would make the biggest impact in your life? And then they tell me, right? And so the listening part, the learning part, the listening part is really critical. And then I really do emphasize this part here, okay? Partner with doTERRA to get what you want. Which path is best for you? Getting your products paid for, supplementing your income, or replacing your income? How many times have you said replacing your income or offered this to them and they're like, I hate my job. I want to get out of my job. Anybody had that experience?
All the time.
All the time, right?
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I hate my job. Yeah. And so this is a really key part to go through this build guide. But I promise you that if you create the next interaction from every interaction, as you invite them to a class and they come to a class, and then you set up at the time of enrollment. Now, when I came home from that, I actually said to, when I enrolled those people at the event on Tuesday night, I said, and we saw they chose their shipping. They enrolled themselves off my phone. They chose their shipping, and both of them chose the $3.99. Oh, it's okay for me to wait till May 22nd. May 22nd from May 14th felt like a really long time to me. I typically do standard shipping with every order I put in.
I do, Debbie. I don't even mention the shipping, because at this point in the conversation, they've had to make so many choices already. I just make the choice for them, unless I know that they're extremely price sensitive. If they're like umming and ahhing about an oil or two, I'll bring it up. Otherwise, I will choose for them to get their products as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because from the time you enroll them to the time they get their products, all they have is whatever gift pack you've given them.
Yeah.
And so if they can get their products quickly, is it fair for me not to give them that choice? I think it's serving them and their purpose.
I agree. And I always do standard shipping when I'm putting in their enrollment. But when they were putting in their own enrollment on the phone, on my phone, they got to answer all the questions. And at any rate, what it did for me was, that's too long. I want to talk with you before then. So I created the next interaction, right? I'm going to meet with Melody Saturday, midday. I created the next interaction. Mary's got a Modern Essentials book that she's going through. I'm creating the next interaction before they get their products, because that's too long for me. So when I meet with them after they get their products, I'm creating the next interaction. I'm going to go through the share guide. And when I go through the share guide, I'm creating the next interaction to go through the build guide. And show them the possibilities as we learn how to use their oils. Okay, so each interaction is going to have some education on incorporating the oils that they now have into their daily routine, and following up on that daily routine, and following up on what experiences they're having, and making additional suggestions according to what they have on hand, right? So we want to make sure we're following up. And so when we do that, they know what options there are all along the way. After I've gone through this build guide with them, they know what options there are. Okay. Now, who's to say that Mary, at the age of 70, who's to say that she has been a farmer's wife in her entire marriage, working really hard? They totally live very frugally, and they totally save their money because they know when the harvest is done, that's the end of their income. Who's to say that she would not benefit from learning this information? And so I wanted to be the bearer of the information. She gets to choose what she does with it, right? And she actually enrolled with the idea, and she came to buy a tube of Deep Blue. And I said, Mary, come to this event with me. I held off. I didn't want her to pay me for the Deep Blue, because I was pretty certain if I could get her to this event that she would go for that kit. And she did. She said, it makes sense. That's what she said. She kept turning to me with every product they highlighted. She would turn to me and said, do you use that? Do you use that? I'm not kidding. Every single product. When they talked about the Lifelong Vitality Pack, she said, do you use that? And I said, yes, and I have for 9 years. And then she said, does Jay use it? They want to know that we are a product of the products. And I said, yes, he does. And I'm grateful I could say that, because 3 years ago I couldn't say that.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
So I've been looking at some training that, some of the Presidential Diamonds have done, and listening to how they, teach their intro classes, like Haley Hobson or some of those other people teaching it. And this is what they do. They say, here's this, when they're going through the Live Guide or whatever, they say, I have these oils in this place in my house, and this is how I use it. This is this guide. I have this in this place in my house, and this is how I use it. I have this over here, and this is how I use it. I have this over here, and this is how I use it. Because when you're building that relationship of trust, and you're showing people that you're excited, and you've adopted the natural solution lifestyle, and you've showed them what that looks like, so much easier to get them on board.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So at any rate, spending time each day in at least 2 of these pipes areas, specifically the IPE in the middle, is going to grow your business. And so that's where really want to hone in on, is the IPE in the middle. Okay. That's where we grow our business. The other is necessary, but we need to be spending 20% in the other 2 and 80% in those IPE in the middle. Okay. So at any rate, anyway, that's what I wanted to kind of share with you today. And so I'll stick around for questions. And I know I've taken a lot of your time. Thank you for your comments. For me, this has been a really great call, and I thank you for participating and sharing your experiences and your wins and your highlights and your successes. So be the one to go out there and help us change the world, okay? Any other comments, thoughts, questions?
That's good. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for taking over.
Debbie.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Dana. I'm really excited for what you are creating up there in Gillette, Wyoming. Rosette and Gillette. And surrounding areas. Now, when is your Healthy Habits tour, Dana?
It is I think it's the 24th of June in Rapid City, South Dakota. That's the closest to us. There's one in Cheyenne, but that's a lot further for us to go. It's closer to 4 hours.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Very good. Well, I hope you have a carload of people.
Yeah, I'm excited to get some people to go. I think it'll be really good.
Yeah, it was really good. And it was fun. You know what? I had a whole row of people there. And when I raised my hand, who knows about the Healing Hands Foundation? Brenda Versalis said, Debbie Gordon, come up here on stage. And those people that were there with me were like, how many people do you know here? And they were like, boy, everybody knows you now. You know, so that was really interesting. So put it out there, get your hand up, right? Participate, make it exciting. And it was really fun because I do know Brenda.
That reminds me, Debbie, we went to the post-convention tour over in Rapid City. There was a group of us that went and they had people raise their hands if they could name all the owners. And nobody was raising their hand. I'm like, seriously? So I raised my hand and said all of them. And I even got a little prize. So it was pretty fun.
Very good. Yeah, we better know the executives. In fact, somebody pointed out at our training that you know what, to have 7 executives that make the decisions for this company and for how we roll with it is so much more set than having 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so 7 executives really is a strength for doTERRA and an incredible blessing for us as wellness advocates to ensure our long-term success with the business, right? So, yeah. All these fun little tidbits that we get to hear at these events is so great. Reminders, nothing that we didn't know, but some make us think about it just slightly differently. Jen, I want to hear when your next class is and what you're doing.
Hey, Debbie, I'm going to take off.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you joining us. Dia, would you text me Kathy's contact information? I connected with her Tuesday night, and I would love to reach out to her today. So text me her contact information, and let's help her get enrolled. It's time, and I can say that.
Okay, will do, Debbie.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to roll. We have Zoe's graduation party tonight, and I still have stuff.
Congrats! Congrats! Such an exciting time for your family, Dana.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, give her a big hug for me and congrats.
I will.
Yeah. And then she's home for a couple more months, and then she heads off to school.
Yep. Yeah, she's got a couple trips. She's doing a mission trip to South Carolina next month and then going to China for 2 weeks in July. And then she'll leave early to do marching band. So I probably have actually about a month with her in total.
Yeah. Did you get my email that I sent late last night about the North American Chinese Founders Club?
I know, that's really exciting.
Oh my goodness, that is exciting. And you probably have a number of contacts besides Mom Men that would benefit from that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah, it is. So if any of you have a large, or not even a large, and if you have some contacts in the Chinese North American market, that includes US and Canada. If you have contacts in that are Chinese, that's their first language, they have an opportunity now, just like the Latins, to participate in a North American Founders Club for the Chinese, okay? Which means their first language needs to be Chinese, and that's how you enroll them, is under Chinese. And then they get everything, all their contact with doTERRA is all in Chinese, and their account is flagged. And as they grow and share and build, then they need to reach the gold rank in order to achieve foundership. And with all those little flagged accounts that are Chinese, okay? And so that's a great opportunity. And that's available also still. They have not filled the North American Latino Founders Club of 25 spots. I don't know what it is to date, but by the end of last year, they had only filled 3 of the 25, and I was shocked. I thought they'd all be filled within 3 months, and they were not. So the opportunity is still very much there. In fact, that reminds me, Oh my gosh, I need to follow up with a couple of friends from Bolivia, okay, that are living in the States. So Jen, can you share with us about your next class?
Yeah, sorry, my phone froze. Yeah, right now I've got another make and take because I promised those people, but I have I need to go through the living guide and just fortify a couple of my people on their LRPs. They don't understand it. But then I was thinking I could do these make and takes all day, every day, because they were just so much fun. And like Ben said, and a couple other people, meeting friends and having that relationship is just easy for me, and I love it.
Yeah.
But when I called my daughter, she's like, well, come out here and do it, because my sister and my daughter are in San Diego. And then my mom's like, please come my way. So I think that for right now, that's my direction. Although Wendy has said, not do classes. We need to do classes.
Well, here's the deal though, Jen. As you do these make and take classes, start the class. Dana, are you still here? Do you have your trifold from Lisa Zimmer?
Let me
Start the classes with a little oil introduction.
Okay.
And then show them with the make and takes how they use these oils in their everyday life.
Okay.
And
So-
you can still do great enrollments in a DIY class for certain.
Okay.
On that, the trifold, you don't have to have it, but what you do is like you focus your class. So the emotions class I'm gonna do on Monday night, I'm taking the emotions guide from doTERRA, and then we're gonna take, obviously doTERRA has the whole emotional aromatherapy kit, so I'll have that for sampling, like they can smell it and try it and whatnot. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take like those top 10 oils you get in a kit, and then I'm gonna break down all the emotional properties of them and give them some blends, and then that way they'll be able to make emotional rollers themselves from those top 10 oils, so that you're always selling to the kit. And then later they can do their other stuff. But the same, like we did a cleaning class, and so rather than spend a whole bunch of time on On Guard, multi-purpose cleaner and those kind of things, I took their kit and broke it down what all they could use out of it for cleaning, so that the kit's always a priority.
Okay.
Yeah. So the kits and the enrollment is still a priority for any DIY class. And remember, that's how you're growing your business, and that's how you're going to pay to travel to do classes for your daughter and your sister and your mother.
Okay. Those are great. That's great ideas. And I kind of did a little bit because a couple of my people were like, oh, I don't need cypress. There's not really anything you can do. So I made the DIY was using cypress, and they said, oh, and so we talked about it. And so I did it on a very minimal level, but I like to do it to the kit. So taking what they have, and that's what I've been finding is there's a lot of people who ordered 5 years ago, and then those oils have been sitting in their, closet or whatever. And so I just ask them, what do you have? And start basic. You got a lemon. This is what you can do with lemon. This. Oh, wow. What else do you have? So that's what I've been doing. So that's a great idea. So I'll do that. And you said trifold. Is that something I would get online?
You don't have to right away, but that's why I probably shouldn't have brought up Dana. But Lisa Zimmer is one that Dana and I and Sarah Klim for sure have followed. And she's got some fabulous trifolds. You have to purchase them. And
Okay.
then your information, have them printed at Vistaprint or your local printing area, whatever you're doing. So you have to purchase the trifold. What do you call it, Dana? The layout of the trifold. Okay.
So you get a PDF that you can customize. There's open fields that you can put your information into and then print it. Actually, I've just been printing some of mine at home, but it's more economical if you can print in bulk.
Okay.
And
So you'll find that here.
once you purchase that too, you actually get some training from Lisa in how to use it. And you can request also to be in her Facebook group too. She's got a paid one and a free one. But one of the things she talks about, and this helped me immensely, I felt like I was putting a lot of money into the supplies. And so she teaches you how to actually charge for it and feel good about it and help everybody else to feel good about it. So, and the other thing she does teach is using 5 mil rollers instead of 10 mil, because you're just giving them a sample. You don't want to supply them for a lifetime.
So on the one that I did, I charged them.
Good. Good. You want to charge them.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it was $10 for a 10 mil. And the way, I'm not very good with marketing, but my daughter's awesome with it. And so the way she worked it is, she kept saying, Mom, you got to bring them back. You got to bring them back. So we're doing all the colors of the rainbow. She's got that Cricut machine, so she does cute little things and puts it on top, like little label things. And we did recipe cards. So in order to collect them all, you have to come. And then I had people that just called me up that said, oh, can I make that? I said, oh, sorry, it was last week, but we're doing one next month, so that I'm not going to keep it open the whole month. Then they'll want to go like, oh, it's only open that little bit of time. Is that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So on here, are you seeing my screen?
I did. I wrote down all her information.
Yeah. And so this is lisazimmer.net.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
And
that.
then you can go into the US tools or whatever, shop US. Okay. And so here's where she has the trifolds. Okay. And so you can print these up and you can see a little bit more, but I just like the basic one. Which is it here? Do you see it, Dia or Dana?
I see it, yeah.
Which one is it? This one here? This one here?
Oh.
Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do here. Oops. I don't know what I didn't do just now. I don't know what I just did. I'm sorry. Let me bring it back up. There it is. Okay. Anyway, you fill in your own information, and I'm not doing a very good job of showing this, but this is where you find it. Okay. But if you go back, you can also find some DIY stuff. Okay. That's pre-done for you. Where did I see that? I think it was on the page before. Right here, make and take handouts. And these handouts have the basics about the oils on them. So in every DIY class, you're talking about who can tell me what essential oils are and where we get them and how we use them and why we would want to.
Okay.
Now, you can do that yourself. You can say, let me just go. Some of you are new. And let me just talk about what essential oils are, where we get them, how we use them, and why we would want to. You can say that yourself, or you can invite those that are coming back to do that for you. And then what happens when you do that? If they are saying the words, they are not capable of sharing, right? And so if you have people that come back and back and back, you want them to be sharing. You want them to be doing the class with you and demonstrating how they just kind of take over, okay? And you can actually incorporate them. Hey, Dawn, would you teach this one? Hey, Jen, would you teach this one? You can totally incorporate them in doing the make and takes and doing the DIY so that they are teaching from day one.
Okay. And that was really like what happened, because we actually, even though we weren't doing anything on the kids kit, a lot of people were like, wait, talk about this. And so Jen was the one who took off about the kids kit and how her Pate works it. And I was explaining to them, it just empowers them. And so a friend of mine who was there, who has she has 11 kids, and she's like, oh, my kids don't need that, but I have a friend whose kids need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
And that's when you want to say, well, connect me with your friend so I can help her get it.
Yeah, she's coming. So she's coming to the next. In fact, she made her a roller ball. And I said, let her come. You guys have 12-year-old, 13-year-olds who can watch those kids. Have her come. And you guys do it together. She goes, oh, yeah, she's going to love this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the idea, even out of DIY, the idea is still to get them to enroll.
Okay.
And then if they bring their oils back to class and use their own oils, then you charge them $1 for the roller bottle and they're using their own oils.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So if they bring their own oils, bring your oils. Now you might not want to charge just $1, okay? Because you're
right. So I'll add that, but it could be maybe $2.50 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So,
it's a great idea.
but charging for a DIY is hauling buckets, right?
Yes, and that is the group that I have. A lot of them haven't made an order in 4 or 5 years, and they'll say, I have an account, but I haven't made it in like 4 or 5 years. And I think, but they're too afraid because they're like, well, I bought hundreds of dollars in oils. I don't want to do it again. And so I said, okay, that's okay. come and let's get you using them at least. You spent all that money on it.
Exactly. And with time, remember, and it's okay, with time of hauling buckets and getting them to come back and showing them, teaching them how to use their oils, you build a community. And pretty soon they're like, oh, I do need this stuff every day. And that's where you want to also, along the way of your DIYs, talk about the nutritionals.
Yes.
Talk about the supplements. Talk about the hair care products, the reducing toxicity, the skincare products.
So I put that stuff out on my counter by the treats so that they can see it all out there. But I also have a thing in the middle that holds the little labels and things. And then I put samples in there. So it's different each time. So this time I did gum and the deep blue, but then I have the drops coming and shampoo coming. And so I'll put those out and they can take one of those and see how they work for you. And that seems to work out really well. And then I had my book out and another lady was like, oh, I have to buy that. And I said, okay, because I got a box of them. So I let her buy it. And the other people were like, what is that? And she's like, oh, this is the Bible of oils. You need one of these. And then I told them, if you sign up with me, you get one for free. And they're like, seriously? I said, yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Okay. Very good points. So yeah, just each time you do it, you're going to tweak it just a little bit more and you're going to get more and more effective at creating enrollments. And the enrollments are still your bucket, but getting them on a loyalty rewards order, these people that have been using for 4 and 5 years and haven't bought anything in that long, and you're teaching them how to make it a wellness lifestyle. That's what you want to really emphasize, is that wellness lifestyle piece. And this is how we manage our family. And it saves so much money, and you would benefit too, And
the power.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I have like new moms, and I'll say there's a lot of power in the fact that my 11-year-old who's having a bad day, doesn't communicate well, can go and get an oil and put it on, and he can just say to me, I'm just getting brave today. And I know what that means. And we don't necessarily have to talk about it, but he is taking care of it. And then I can ask him how to go. Well, this is what happened. And then he talks. And so just little things like that. And then my husband's also a great sport because he's happy to come down and somebody will say something like, oh yeah, she had a headache, and Doug will yell peppermint, and they laugh and think it's funny. But he uses it and he knows how it works. Very good. Very good. Thank you for your help.
Yeah. So you can rock it with DIYs, honestly.
I love it. The DIY was like my niche. I felt like, oh, this is it. I can do this all day. And what was supposed to be an hour and a half ended up people coming in all day long because they're like, oh, I saw so-and-so at work and she wanted to come by. Oh yeah, bring her by. And so they just kept coming. And then finally we cut it off at about 5 o'clock because people were done. And so I was like, okay, that worked out great. And I was happy to do it. It was fun. It was easy. So easy.
If you go into here and click on, excuse me, forms.
Yeah.
At every DIY, have a wholesale product list.
I got that.
Have these printed out, Wellness Advocate or Wholesale Customer. I would have a bunch of these printed out. I printed out 10 of them again yesterday.
Okay.
A bunch of these forms, okay? And if your printer will do double-sided, that's what I do, so it's only one piece of paper, okay? Print up this form and have them available and say, now you can do this yourself at home with this kit.
Okay.
This is the kit you want. And don't be afraid to say the Natural Solutions kit.
Okay.
And this is what comes in the Natural Solutions kit, and know the Natural Solutions kit.
Okay.
Or add on some foaming hand wash to a basic kit. Add on some toothpaste. I always add fractionated coconut oil. That's a given.
Yeah.
I always say something like, and the one thing I would add to this kit is some fractionated coconut oil for safety. Remember how we talked about?
Yeah.
And I always upsell them on fractionated coconut oil. And very often I will upsell them on adding roller bottles and spray tops to their order. That's a real key.
Okay.
I didn't do that Tuesday night, but it's a real key. If they have roller bottles and spray tops, when you do the lifestyle overview with them, you're going to make up at least 1 or 2 of those.
Okay.
Right on the spot for their specific concerns. If you don't invite them to add it to their order, you're bringing spray tops and roller bottles with you to the lifestyle overview to make a roller. Okay.
And I got a bunch of those. I did because I
Yeah.
wanted to have that. But
Yeah.
okay, that sounds good. I will do that. The other thing is I have a ton of the little Simplicity books. People love those, and so I have a ton of them, and I'll put those out. And
Okay, but don't give them away.
the
Okay.
little white books.
The little white books, don't give them away.
Okay.
Open them up with them. Go through, if you've got a group of people, say, give them all one and say, open it up. And go through it with them. The Healthy Can Be Simple, the first 2 or 3 the first open up for sure is
Okay.
about how we use oils. And then you're going to give them an assignment. And the assignment is to go through and find your top 3 health concerns that you want solutions for, and we'll talk about it at the next class. Give them an assignment. Don't just give them out and pass them out like napkins. Make sure to go through it with them.
Okay.
And then if it's appropriate, remember that roller bottle you made just today is going to help you with that problem.
Okay.
They might come back and say, hey, can I try a sample of? Or with somebody that's brand new, that's not got oils at home, I would not offer this to all your people that's got oils at home. For somebody who's brand new that really hasn't had a product experience, their assignment is to come back to our next class or event with requests for 2 samples that they want to try for specific health concerns. And then you're following up with them, and you're calling them to remind them of the class without using the word remind. And you're saying, I'm so excited for you to come Tuesday night. Now, what are those 2 samples you want so that I can have them prepared for you?
Okay.
And that's going to drive them to get back for more education.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
So those guides are phenomenal, but we aren't using them like we ought to, okay? And so you want to open it up and go through it with them. You don't just hand it out. And then you want to, with new people, obviously, hopefully you're getting a role and you're collecting contact information, names, phone numbers, emails at least.
Uh-huh.
And Jen, you send me your list until you have a monthly newsletter. You send me your list of contacts, get their permission, have maybe a checkbox to receive the monthly newsletter, and say, Debbie Gordon or whatever you want to say. But let's get them on my list for the newsletter so they get that ongoing education.
Do I get your newsletter?
Do you not get my newsletter?
Is it in the email?
It's an email.
No, I don't get it.
And it should say Essential Oil Spotlight in the subject line.
No.
Oh my goodness. Sam, are you getting my newsletter?
Yeah.
Dana, you're getting my newsletter, right?
Yep, I get it. But the one thing too, you have to remind people that it oftentimes goes to promotions if they have a Gmail account, so they have to go find it.
Look in there and see if you're getting it. And if you're not, Sue, Jen, I need to know. Okay. So I need to make sure to add you. I tried to have my administrative assistant. She adds all the new enrollments every month. So you know what? You still are on Wendy's team. You should be getting it because I send it out to Wendy's team. Unless you've clicked on unsubscribe, you will automatically be unsubscribed if you have clicked on that before, but the fact that you recognize it.
What is in
The subject line says Essential Oil Spotlight.
Yeah, no, I don't have that anywhere. Not anywhere in my.
Okay. All right. You know what I'm going to do right now is, let me stop my share, and I'm going to just forward mine to you right now so you have that, so you can see what you're talking about. Okay.
Okay.
This is May. So forgive the forward, but we'll do that this time, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
A reminder, Jen41993 at Gmail.
Yeah, Jen Ford, 1993.
All right. So
Okay,
So normally it would say, I'm going to put in here, Jen, okay? Hey,
Okay.
Jen. But normally it would have your name because I've got it fixed to where, and it's got my name on this, but I just changed it to yours. So hopefully it will be a little more personalized. So this is kind of how you'll see it, okay?
Okay. But that's great. I'll give them that option and have them, and then I have a Facebook page that people will like, and I just put everybody on my social media, sent them an invitation. So those ones who like it, then I have people to reach out to. So I have 3 or 4 that are really, I was impressed that they said something, and so I thought, okay, I got to reach out to those people. But with graduation, everything that's going on, there was a ton of people out of town, Mother's Day weekend, so I'm looking forward to June and getting going on that.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, this has been great, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. And I want to hear, Jen, I want to hear about your successes because you've got things rocking and rolling there. You've got lots of interest.
I do. I'm excited to keep it going, and I think in this area, this is what they need right now. There's other classes going on, but people will come back and say, it was too much for me. I didn't understand what they're saying. And so I said, okay, well, what do you need? I need this. Okay, that's really easy. All that is this. It's really simplified for them. And then everybody else around them that is a little more educated or knowledgeable, they just chime in and take over. And then I go to the next person, and they're just really like, oh yeah, this is really simple. Just do this. And
Very good. And as you open your books at every event,
yes,
okay, open your books and show them how they can find solutions and say, and let them know, I mean, this might make you order more books. And, you know, a while back we had books for almost 20% off. So, or 50%
that's what I
off.
got them.
That's
I
when you
got
got them for 50% off.
15 something.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. So right now the price is, if I order them again, they're going to be $30 a piece. You
Right.
decide.
Or
Okay.
you can have it for free if you just sign up.
There you go. Okay. There you go. And why do we give away books for free? That's a business expense. If we can do that, if we can afford that, that's great. But why do we give away books for free?
That's what Wendy did for me. And that was the thing that kept me going, because I didn't, 12 o'clock at night when your kid has a fever, and she told me, but I forgot what it was. That's all in that book. And so, and I gave those away for Mother's Day to my family. And so my sister was like, I want a book. And I was like, okay, you just have to sign up.
Good for you. Good for you.
But right now you get a diffuser and some oils.
Good for you. Good for you. I love it. See? And so once they sign up with you, to give them a book is phenomenal resource, right?
Yeah.
And they can learn how to find their own solutions. We just empowered them hugely, right? And I promise it comes back to you. I promise that free book will come back to you in residual income as they learn how to become a healer in their own home.
Yeah, I have no doubt. My mom loves it. And I'm going to get on my 2 non-LRP people and just say, look, you signed up and I got the books in. So I wanted to give you a book, but we need to get your LRP set up. So how can we do that?
There you go.
And get them going, and then we'll see if I can't move along from there. I feel like
And notice how, Jen, you are completely sold on the Lifelong Vitality Pack, are you not?
Oh, yeah.
And you're just going to say, you got to have this Lifelong Vitality Pack every month. So let's put that on there first. You can totally talk that way, right? Because of your conviction.
Oh, yeah.
They can take it off if they want, and you're going to want this. So let's just get that on there first. Let me show you how to do that. And have them do it. Have them type it in.
The problem I'm having, honestly, is that I have a bunch of women who take care of the world, take care of their husband, take care of their kids. And when I say, let's sit down and talk about you for a second. Let me talk to you about you. What are you? No. I need my husband needs this, and my kids, and oh my gosh.
In order to take care of the world, they need the Lifelong Vitality Pack.
They do. And I've got probably 4 women who haven't signed up yet, and that's what they need.
And to make it easy for my boys and my husbands,
Yes.
I do buy the daily packs.
Yeah.
They just reach and grab, right? And
Yeah.
right now you can laugh at me, okay, because I had 6 boxes that I needed to use up first and so I did my own. So I ordered 3 of these packs like this. My husband's like, can you do that again? I said, yes, but we're going to use the 6 boxes first. Oh, you got a whole family on them? 6 boxes.
Yes.
We're done. I need to order some more packs. But I just used the snack Ziploc baggies and I bagged them myself. And yes, it took me time.
Right.
I was using my bottles, right? And so that's
So
from the last 3 months.
When you get those little packs in there, are there 2 of each in the pack?
Yes, there's
Okay.
2 of each little packet. And so now I do have my 12-year-old, I have him take 1 of each. And in these baggies, I separate them out. And I said, here's, take these today, and then take the rest tomorrow. You know, so I do separate them out for him. I think for his size, he weighs about 75 pounds. He does not need to fold those. 1 of each is.
Right. And that's what I was thinking is if I got a pack, I can just split it between the boys.
Yeah, yeah. It's really simple to do the daily packs. It costs you $7 more, but I say that comes back to you when they are consistent and no longer getting sick.
Right.
So that's a really big benefit.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I got an appointment, so I have to head out, but I
All right.
appreciate
Love you
it.
guys. I'll sign off for now. Hopefully this has been helpful. Have a fantastic day, and thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.